Hey everyone, welcome back to the Crypto Deep Dive. I'm Lori.
And I'm Nick. Good to be back for another deep dive into the murky waters of crypto speculation.
And today's waters are especially murky. Episode 14 is all about XRP and the whirlwind of posts, claims, and predictions that hit X on May 24. If you were on crypto Twitter, or X as we now call it, you probably saw at least one of these floating around.
Yeah, and let's be clear from the start, most of what we're covering today is speculative. These aren't confirmed news reports, they're community-driven posts, rumors, and let's face it, some outright wishful thinking, but they give us a lens into sentiment and how that sentiment sometimes moves markets or doesn't.
Oh, this one is definitely going to be a fun one. But before we get started, let's quickly look at the markets. At the time of recording on 25th May 2025, we have Bitcoin at $107,781, Ethereum is sitting at about $2,527, and XRP is at $2.3082. We've got XLM at 28.3 cents, Sol is at just over $172, and ADA is down to just over 75 cents. We are marginally lower across the market from when we spoke last.
We are. It looks like we are still waiting for the bullish catalyst to send things up again. Hey, one for the listeners. If you enjoy our little chats, please do give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Let's start with the big one, the supposed Ripple Circle deal. An X-post claimed Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse was preparing an offer Circle can't reject to acquire USDC's parent company. This was supposed to be announced the same day, May 24th. What happened?
Absolutely nothing. No official announcement, no statement from Circle or Ripple. Yet the post went viral and was followed by a surge of people saying XRP was about to explode. And yet, the price hovered around $2.40. No real spike. The market didn't bite. Quite the contrary moving into today where we are even further down.
Why do these kinds of unverified acquisition rumors take off? Should investors ever act on that kind of speculation?
It's a mix of hopium and the hunger for a narrative. Ripple acquiring Circle would be huge. USDC is a major stablecoin. People see these speculative posts as a sign of insider leaks, but acting on them without confirmation. That's a recipe for being exit liquidity. The smarter move is to wait for validation, then assess the impact.
Next up, claims that the Dubai government issued digital assets directly on the XRP Ledger. If true, that would be a big institutional nod. But is it?
Again, we're in speculative territory. The X posts said the Dubai government is now using the XRP Ledger to tokenize real-world assets, but no official confirmation, no release from Ripple, no announcement from the Dubai government. What we have is wishful alignment. Ripple has been vocal about real-world asset tokenization, and Dubai is friendly toward crypto, but friendly doesn't equal adoption.
So these posts might just be XRP influencers connecting dots that don't exist?
Exactly. It fuels the narrative that XRP is becoming a global standard, but without verification, it's all projection. Still, even unconfirmed rumors like this can influence community sentiment even if the price doesn't respond.
Okay, this one caught my eye. A post claimed that Ripple's partnership with the Bank for International Settlements would streamline payments for the $14.5 trillion derivatives market. That sounds huge, but is it current?
Not really. The BIS Ripple link has been mentioned before. It's not breaking news. The post repackaged older information but framed it like it just dropped, and the XRP community ran with it, saying selling XRP now is like dumping Apple stock in the 90s.
That's dramatic.
It is, but it shows how desperate some parts of the community are for validation. BIS working with Ripple is bullish in principle, but nothing has materially changed in the last 24 hours to make this a new catalyst.
So the takeaway is long-term potential? Sure. Short-term hype, not justified by new data.
Exactly.
Another claim from May 24th, Independent Reserve, a major Australian crypto exchange, supposedly predicted a sharp rise in XRP adoption among Singaporeans. Some are calling this the beginning of a regional breakout. Is there any truth here?
There's no primary source to confirm it. We haven't seen this 2025 crypto report cited directly, but the Asia-Pacific region is crucial for Ripple's strategy. Singapore has been progressive with crypto regulations, and Ripple has a presence there.
If true, how big would this be?
It could be significant. Retail adoption in Singapore could create momentum across the region. Asia-Pacific is a major fintech corridor, and if XRP gains traction there, it could help with both volume and credibility. But again, without confirmation, this is a wait and see.
Now this one really blew up. Someone posted that Ripple's upcoming stablecoin RLUSD could drive XRP's price to $9,800 per token. That's not a typo, $9,800.
It's absurd. There's no credible evidence Ripple ever said this. No quotes from Brad Garlinghouse, no statements, no logic. This is classic pump fantasy, and it damages the credibility of the XRP community.
Do these wild predictions help or hurt the ecosystem?
They hurt. When the community buys into numbers that are completely detached from reality, it invites mockery and reduces trust. Ripple's stablecoin could be a big part of Ripple's ecosystem, yes. Stablecoins are a big deal, but will it 4,000-fold XRP's price overnight? No.
So there might be some legitimate value in Ripple creating a stablecoin, but not anything close to what's being claimed?
Exactly. Stablecoins are a crucial part of the crypto ecosystem, and Ripple entering that space makes strategic sense. It could enhance liquidity and utility within their network. But these astronomical price predictions aren't just optimistic, they're fantastical. They set people up for disappointment and make reasonable XRP supporters look delusional by association. It will be institutional adoption that will eventually drive XRP's price up, but that will require regulation and other major catalysts. I am still very positive, but we will not get rich overnight, as nice as it would be.
A couple of speculative posts also mention geopolitical shifts, like the EU potentially removing 20 banks from SWIFT. And there was buzz about a US stablecoin bill gaining traction with Treasury support. What's going on here?
This is where speculation gets political. The theory is, if major banks are removed from SWIFT, countries and institutions might look to alternatives, like RippleNet or XRP, for cross-border payments. And if the US introduces a stablecoin bill, Ripple could ride that wave.
But again, these are what-ifs.
Yep. We don't have legislation passed. We don't have SWIFT removals confirmed. These posts extrapolate from fragments of real-world developments. Is it smart to prepare for those shifts? Sure. But is XRP guaranteed to be the solution? That's pure conjecture.
So the XRP community is essentially betting on global financial disruption?
In a way, yes, there's this underlying narrative that XRP will benefit from any breakdown or reform of traditional financial systems. And to be fair, some of these geopolitical scenarios aren't completely implausible. The financial world is changing, but the leap from SWIFT might face challenges to XRP will replace SWIFT and Moon is enormous.
It seems like a pattern we're seeing across all these claims, taking a kernel of plausibility and growing it into a certainty.
Exactly. And that's the danger for investors who don't separate the wheat from the chaff. Geopolitical shifts could benefit certain crypto projects, but the path from potential to profit is rarely as direct as these posts suggest.
All right, let's zoom out. With all this noise, acquisitions, partnerships, stablecoins, you'd expect XRP to be mooning. But on May 24, it traded at around $2.40 to $2.45, dropping to around $2.30 today. What gives?
This is the great paradox. The XRP community on X is fired up, the posts are more bullish than ever. But the price? Flat. It suggests the broader market doesn't buy the hype, at least not yet.
So what needs to happen for XRP to break out in the next 24 to 48 hours or beyond?
We'd need actual catalysts, confirmed announcements, government partnerships, regulatory wins. Something real. Hype alone won't move the needle anymore. If anything, these repeated unfulfilled rumors may be creating fatigue.
XRP investors are becoming immune to hype?
To a degree, yes. The bar for believing has been raised. People want proof, not promises. The institutional money that really moves markets isn't swayed by anonymous X posts. They need verifiable facts and clear regulatory frameworks.
It's interesting how this disconnect between social media sentiment and price action has grown. In earlier bull markets, sometimes just a tweet could send prices soaring.
The market is maturing. We've seen too many "this is it" moments fizzle out. Smart money is waiting for substantive developments, court victories, major institutional adoption, or integration into real-world payment flows at scale.
So for XRP holders, patience is still the game?
Exactly. If the fundamentals are there, price will eventually follow. But timing the market based on social media speculation, that's a recipe for disappointment.
So to recap, we've got a fake Ripple Circle deal, unconfirmed government partnerships, recycled BIS news, phantom reports out of Singapore, outlandish $9,800 predictions, political speculation on SWIFT and stablecoins, and despite all of it, XRP's price is flat.
That's the state of crypto in 2025. Sentiment-driven, but increasingly skeptical. Speculation will always be part of the game, but credibility is becoming currency.
Well said. And that's it for today's episode of the Crypto Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us as we swam through the XRP hype cycle. Be careful out there. Do your own research. Always.
And, as always, follow the facts, not the fantasies. Catch you next time.